All right,
Good
everybody.
morning, everybody, ladies and gents.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're getting some people admitted in. Welcome to the Grow Your Business Monthly Mastermind hosted by the Women of Real. We've got a few lovely ladies on here today from the Women of Real. We've got Natasha, our wonderful other hostess for the day today, and we got my son. And I think Frosie's still on here. Good to
Hey.
see you, Terry. So many familiar faces. I'm really excited. Hopefully, you guys are too. So we really appreciate everybody coming out. Obviously, this is for everybody. Yes, it's hosted by the Women of Real, but we are here to help everyone. And we are super excited. We've been putting together some really amazing classes for everybody this year. I'm excited for today and learning about how to excel our business into luxury, not just a commercial for real luxury, but actually how to up your business. So Natasha and I were talking a little bit beforehand. She's like, well, she's like, I want people to up their business. I want, how do you get there? It's not just like, hey, real luxury. Like, it's like, how do you get to be able to apply and get to real luxury? And I think everyone wants to do that. You want to up your price points because it's fun. It's also, a sign of you being a great agent and networking and, people showing more and more trust in you. And obviously, as we all know, like it does equal more money in our bank accounts to take care of our families and our futures. But ultimately, like super stoked to do it. So we're glad to have Natasha here today. So as I'm going to keep admitting people, what I want to do is if you guys want or have any questions or anything, Natasha will take care of you. But in the meantime, Natasha, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about about your real estate, about everything. We want to know a little bit more about Natasha.
Yeah, good afternoon. I don't know what time zone you're in. I am in Houston, Texas. I am like she's right. I had started out this morning when we got on calls. Like I ended up taking out like 5 slides for my presentation. I was like, we don't need to go into all the things about real luxury. Let's just talk about how we get the higher price point, how we get that first luxury transaction, right? So I'm Natasha Valasek. Like I said, I'm out of Houston, Texas. I've been in real estate for 18 years. And back, yes, I used fax machines. And things have changed quite a bit, and they're continuing to change. There's one thing that never changes, and listings make the real estate world go round. I'm happy to share some of the things that I've learned over my 18 years. I also want to hear from you. We can all learn from each other, so I don't want you to be shy. I don't care if you've never sold something that's luxury. If you have something to share, please do. This is interactive. This is for all of us, okay? So I will at the end give you my contact information so that if you want to know more about real luxury, I can certainly do that with you. But I've been in the business for 18 years. I specialize in luxury. I'm in an area where we are waterfronts, the Gulf Coast. And I have worked with professional athletes, some pretty well known names, but that wasn't always the case. So I don't want to just go to like, this is the glamour of selling luxury. How did I get there? Right. And I don't know if you guys ever get a chance to be in a room with someone that is doing something you want to do, but my question is not, what are you doing right now? What was your starting point, right? What did you do to start getting there? I don't need to know about where you are right now. So, my hope is that you have at least one great takeaway that you can implement. Something that is a little bit unique that I will also share is some of my history. So, like I said, I've been doing this for 18 years. I started off in a boutique brokerage. I opened up my own boutique luxury brokerage, and then I went to KW and was the broker and GM and became owner of 2 market centers, and then sold that. Went to EXP, and I was at EXP for a few years and just could not stop having that like, let me know more about real. What is it about real? So to me, I'm so happy to be here and be at real. In fact, I went to Banff before I joined Real. I went to Banff when they were going to be rolling out the luxury division. That was their big announcement. It was the first event in Canada, and they were announcing the luxury division. And I got to meet with everyone that kind of laid down the foundation for that. And I absolutely knew that Real was where I needed to be. And let me just tell you, they are always working on some amazing things. So, first, I want to say how important it is to have a good luxury division if luxury is what you specialize in or intend to specialize in. Having a good division behind that is fantastic. So I made the move to Real. I am also, by the way, one of 37 in all of Texas. I am a real estate arbitrator and mediator. So that goes over pretty well when you're talking to clients that are used to dealing with attorneys and want to be legally protected. But I'm an open book. Please ask me anything at any time or reach out to me afterwards. Anything I've ever done, I'm not one of those secretive agents. I will share with you. And if you find a way to make it be successful for you, like I want to hear back from it. So it really excites me to see other agents doing well and helping them. And if you find a way to make it better, that's even better. Like that's amazing. So if you want to go in and just kind of start with the slides, I'm going to just get started. You guys, I'm all about good energy. So if I feel like the energy's off, I'm going to be like, okay, I might stand up or I might play a song. You guys might have heard I started with It's a Beautiful Day because it is a beautiful day. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. We'll go to the second slide, please. So one of the things I get asked is, well, who is the luxury client? Um, I, I had an agent come to me, she was like, Natasha, everyone I know and I'm related to is broke as a joke. How do I get luxury with like all my friends are broke? And I was like, you know someone. And she was like, nope, I really don't. But I'm going to just start with sharing with some of the clients that I've worked with. So I'm in Houston, as I mentioned. I've worked with some professional athletes. Sometimes you have to sign NDAs or additional documents where they basically say you can't talk about working with them, you can't take pictures with them, you can't do any of that. But I had Christian Wood from the Houston Rockets, and it's one of my favorite pictures because dude was tall. He was so tall, and I was wearing heels too. So that's one of my favorite ones. And he was with the Rockets for a good period of time, and my son kind of geeked out about that. And then I've got the mom. And it's two very different sides, right? So we've got the professional athlete and we've got the mom over here. She is a social media influencer. And so your client can be anyone. And that just goes to show the petite little mom or the big and tall guy. So what I want to say is when you think of a luxury client, who do you think of? Right? Who are you thinking of when you think of a luxury client? And by the way, I don't know what area you're in. I'm in Houston. We here are, it's funny when I master on with other agents, we talk about the demographics, like how old are your luxury clients? And so for me, in my area, I'm around oil and gas, and it's typically what we call old money, meaning they're older generation and they've had money in their family through generations. So, um, I guess let's have like five of you. Do you know who the luxury client demographic is in your area? Is it what you would call older or newer? And so here we've got someone saying they're in a small area. Your clients tend to be business owners, investors of Airbnbs. Okay, new money. So the younger. And so where are they? Right? You can go to the next slide, please. So the first thing is to recognize who are the luxury clients. Second, where are they? Right? Where are you going to find them? So, you're in a second home resort market, okay? New money in Fort Lauderdale, old money. Sasha, where are you at? Okay, so Seattle looks like tech, old money. North Carolina. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So, so it's who is it? Now, where are they? So, where are they going to be? Do you realize when you're shopping for a car, you know how you say you're looking for a new car, and all of a sudden you notice every one of that car that you're considering, but you never noticed them before? Think about that. You want that luxury client, right? Start looking for them like you are a new car. Every time you see one down the road, I'm not saying be a stalker, okay? Do not stalk people. Or at least be discreet about it on Facebook. I'm just kidding. But you want to know who they are. And so be intentional around your surroundings. Are you going to the places that they're going to? What does that look like? Um, Social events, networking events, um, places that maybe they do business at. So be intentional about where you're putting yourself. You want to put yourself in those places too. Something that is fantastic to ask. Oh, okay. So this is a great point. She said a lot of the rich events are unaffordable. Do you have an insurance person? Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have a CPA? Do you have people that you give your business to that should invite you to these things? Maybe you ask them, hey, I saw that you were at this amazing ball. Tell me about that. Ask them how you can join in with them. Chamber of Commerce, okay, and you got on the board of directors, fantastic. So you can call those people that you know are in those circles, such as, like I said, your bankers, your insurance people, and ask them, who do you know that's someone I should know? You don't have to be the direct link. You can ask others to link you. Does that make sense to everybody? We oftentimes think that we need to get right in front of the person, but even when you get a referral, so take it down a notch, right? If I'm going to give you a referral, it goes over much better if I put us in a group text or I give you a warm introduction versus here's their number and now you're just reaching out to them and they may or may not know about you. So ask the people around you, who do you know that I should know? Do you mind introducing us? Maybe you host something, invite them to lunch and have them join as well. So it doesn't always have to be a big setting or an expensive event that you're going to, okay? There's other places that you can look at, such as when we go to events, membership clubs, sporting events, hobbies. I mean, you might be working out at the same gym that someone that could very well be your first luxury client works out at. I don't suggest running up to someone trying to get their business when they're like in the middle of working out and really into their routine. That's probably not going to go over very well. In fact, when you first meet people, you should absolutely not even tell them what you do. You don't want to come off as salesy, right? You just want, this is who I am. Nice to meet you. Ask them about themselves. People like to talk about themselves, right? So let them get around to asking you what you do. Oh, a gym is $300 to $400 a month. I don't know where you are at, but that is expensive. Oh, maybe at Newport Beach. Okay. So maybe you just take one Pilates class a month or something. I don't know what that membership looks like, but um, it's all sorts of things, right? Pickleball. You can go play pickleball. You can go play tennis. Um, Meetup.com is a great site to figure out meet people in your area that have the same interests that you have. What other ideas? As I'm saying these things, what I'm trying to get you to do is just stop thinking about like a gala or something that requires like a $500 plus ticket to get into. That's where I'm trying to go here. So do you guys understand? A golf? Yep. You can go play golf. You can even get like a social membership at a country club.
I got to call out what Karen Stone said. She said, my lift ticket is $700 and I can ride the chairlift and meet wealthy people all day. She's in Park City, Utah. That
Boom,
is brilliant.
boom. It's
Brilliant.
simple. It's simple. You just have to think about the things that you would do and where are the people and what are they doing. And when you catch them in casual, I would rather meet someone all day sitting next to them on a lift than in a ball gown when there's loud music playing, right? Brilliant.
Honestly, I think some of the best conversations that I've had with some of my more wealthy clients have been just random. Like one of my biggest clients, he was doing a for sale by owner on one of his rental properties and I just walked in. And now he like sees me like a daughter, but it was, now that I know like his net worth, like he just wants to be seen as a regular person. I mean, most of these people do. And so running into them in a more like normal scene, like I've run into some professional athletes in Portland and stuff and like had conversations and that they're like, usually I don't know who they are until they tell me who they are because I just like to play that game. But I think that finding them outside of, like you said, like the galas and stuff like that, it's just so much like everybody's like kind of on point at those events. So what other like events, like, maybe it's a just a regular random night at like the local park with like movies in the park or something. You never know who you're going to run into where.
100% Karen, and you're right, property managers. So before I got into real estate, I worked for the highest luxury properties in our area. I am right across from NASA, and that's where they were. They were right across the street from NASA. So we had, back when we were still doing space flight, the Russian cosmonauts, we had all sorts of great people from all over coming in and staying because they weren't here long enough to purchase a property. So they would stay at these luxury apartment communities. And you're absolutely right. Get with property managers. Those are gold mines. Also, who do you give your business to? Back to that. And I mean that, like, literally make a list. If you have pen and paper right now, write it down. A jeweler, insurance company, you have maybe a financial advisor. Um, those are all people that you give your business to, and get together with them, network with them. One of the wealthiest people in the area I worked with wore overalls and holes in them. Yep. And hung out at farmers markets. Do not judge people by what they are wearing. You have to be the professional. They can dress however they want to dress, right? And drove Hondas. Yep.
Well,
I know.
I'm gonna say one thing about that. I read a recent article about Adam Sandler. Like,
Oh yeah.
dude wears he wore a sweatshirt to the Oscars. Like, he wears hoodies, sweatshirts, lives in a modest house. He doesn't spend his millions of dollars. He's like one of the most wealthy comedians ever, and he lives like super, super humbly. Like, if I walked past him on the street, I mean, obviously, I'd probably know who he was, but he kind of looks like a hobo sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
My first luxury client, my friend, it was a friend's parents. I did not know that her parents were so well off, and she told me that her parents were considering selling, and I'd met them in passing. I think like her and I were at dinner one time. Anyways, I met them in passing, and they said they wanted to talk to me about selling it. My first luxury sale, waterfront property, was my friend's parents, and you just it's there's someone that you know. So think about, maybe it's not your friends, maybe it's their family or their circle that maybe you're not a part of or don't know yet. Emphasis on yet. You want to try to just keep those links going, okay? But really, the best is to think about everyone that you give your business to. Um, Let me see this. I think you can target these people based on what they can afford. Things love you in front of you, more people. That's right. That's right.
I mean, I've heard a lot of positive things about Toastmasters. I've thought about it. It's not always the easiest group to get into, but if you can do it, it also just kind of like makes you a better speaker and kind of gives you more of a like a professional, like more confidence, I guess.
Mhm.
So,
I've I've been somewhere and someone comes up to me. I have no idea who they are, but they know me from social media. It freaked my husband out a little bit. He was
been
like, so I
there.
was like, no. He's like, I was like, she's just a follow. He's like, so your friend's on Facebook? And I was like, no, she follows me on Facebook. He's like, what? But you never know who's looking at you on social media. So yes, when you sell a house, yes, when you're doing something that you enjoy and love or whatever, post it on social media. You never know who is watching. And don't just share it to your friends, share it to public. Social media is a huge grab. They may just find something that's common with you. Do y'all want to know how I got one client? I have corgi dogs. I have dogs that are corgis, and I posted something about my corgis, and I've had corgis for such a long time. And she was like, oh, yeah, when I thought about, I remember Corgi, I was looking for a dog. So she thought about me through a commonality that was my dog and ended up buying a luxury property from me. And that was that. It's as simple as that. Okay. You just have to be intentional about things. So when I say on here, reach out to other cities and states, know your feeder market. So someone on here already mentioned that they're in a second home market. What I mean by that is, so I'm in Houston, and big feeder markets for us are California and Colorado. I am reaching out to those agents in those, and I'm getting more specific. I go into counties of what counties are people more likely to move to Houston from in another state. And then I'm reaching out to agents in that area and asking them about their market and networking with them. Again, a warm lead is always going to get you much further. And you're going to, let's be honest, you're going to be more confident talking to them, right? If I'm introducing them to you and I'm kind of your hype girl and saying, this is who I recommend, she's so great, you're going to go into that way more confident than if I just was like, oh, here you go. This is who you should talk to. Give them a call when you get a chance. And that typically doesn't happen, right? Because it's awkward for both people. So far, has anyone thought of at least one person that they need to reach out to and ask them who they know that they should know? You can nod your head, you can put it in the text, you can unmute yourself if you'd like. Have you thought of at least one person like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, financial advisors are, they're my bread and butter. I get the most referrals from financial advisors. Second is estate attorneys.
Hey Natasha, Tony here. I periodically have gone out to law firms, because
Mhm.
I'm bold and brave like that because I grew up in Jersey, so I have no fear. And I have gone historically, and I tell you, it's a bit of a grind. So I want to share something that maybe could help everybody else. And it hasn't worked for me because where I live, almost every lawyer, every financial person has three or four or five, six different agents they've been working with for a long time. So there's already it's really hard not to crack. But I've been throwing this out there lately, and it's been getting a little bit of attention where it's okay for me to check in sometimes. I say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Of course you have five or six people you work with a long time. No doubt, that's fantastic." I said, "Hey, would you mind keeping me in mind in case, let's be honest, somebody quits, moves, retires, passes away, and there's a spot to fill?" And they usually get a chuckle out of that because it's true, as opposed to, well, keep me in mind. So I just throw it out there and I say, would you mind if I just check in like once every 5 or 6 months with you? And almost all of them are like, oh, yeah, because they never thought about the people they work with quit, move, retire, or pass away. So since that's really honest, it could happen. That gets them thinking, oh, well, I never really thought about that. So at least it's got my business card in the door, so to speak, but it's really competitive with everything else, with financial advisors and accountants, because we're drowning with real estate agents out here. So it just takes a lot of time to really warm up to them enough to be considered. I know that doesn't sound fun, but at least bringing that up as, I love it be an alternative. I love a chance to earn your trust. Maybe there's an opportunity in the future, as opposed to, oh darn, and not come back. So I want
Right.
to let people know, and it's honest. They all know what you're doing, right? It's like dating when you're older. You kind of know how to talk as opposed to when you were a kid. So I found at least I'm getting warmer conversations because I'm honest about if they quit, retire, move, or pass away. I like
Sure.
to leave my card, and I wanted to share that with you guys and ladies out
Yeah.
there in
Thank
case
you.
you don't know what to say. I'm not perfect, but that's one thing I throw out there that at least gets them to raise their eyebrows, like, oh, right? Yeah.
So, one of the best ways to break the ice with someone, bring them a client, bring them business. There you go. Why would you, if you bring
Yeah.
them a client, do you think that they're going to want to talk to you more? They're going to consider you? So, there you go. Something else is a lot of people do pop buys for their clients. Do pop buys for the people that you want to remember you. And I'm not saying like, it's up to you. know your audience, right? But if they're in an office where there's a lot of other financial advisors in there, I'm going to put together a really nice, pretty basket and make it a wow factor. And I'm going to personally deliver it to their office. Um, so there's something else. I also do teach a client experience class, and that's something that I can get into later as well. But I offer to teach that to other companies. So, and that's how I get referrals. Be intentional about your surroundings. We've talked about that. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Okay, so are you ready for luxury clients, right? Because you're asking for you to be connected, and then you get someone and you're like, what do I do? So make sure that you're prepared because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I also am really big on speaking things into existence. So before you go in there, say, I'm gonna go meet this person and I'm going to get a relationship going. I'm going to go meet this person and I'm going to ask for a referral. So how you show up matters. Going back to the client showed up in was it coveralls with holes? You, however, are the professional. And let's be honest, people want to work with people that they feel comfortable with. And when you're talking about higher price points, let's just say there's a difference between higher price points and luxury. Can we all agree on that? Right? Like higher price point is about double what your average price point is, and then luxury is about 3 times and more. So elevate your price point and then go for luxury. So how you show up matters, and that means being on time, being presentable. When someone shows up a hot mess, how do you feel? Think about, we've all had that experience, right? We've had someone come in either late or you could just tell they did not have it together. Life happens sometimes. However, how you show up is important. It's sometimes your very first impression, and it may be the one that you can't undo for a very long time. Do your research, right? So I think it's always better to be overdressed than underdressed. I'm saying is don't show up to something. Maybe you get that invite and you didn't look it up. You'd never been to something like that before, but you didn't do your research. You didn't wear the appropriate attire, or you didn't know that this was a no-no, things like that. You might be challenged along the way, but embrace it. That's where growth happens, being in uncomfortable situations. And is it Felina? I love your background right there, right? Growth comes from being uncomfortable and doing things you don't normally do. I really hope that that is something that you all get out of this, is that if you want higher price point, if you want luxury and you've never done that before, you have to be prepared and willing to do things that you've never done before. And it can just be in the form of conversations. It could be, kind of like what Tony said, you're going to those people, those financial advisors, those attorneys, and saying, hey, I'm here. I would love your business, but keep sending something to them. Go ahead, Terry. I see you raised your hand.
Oh, no, that's okay. You could finish. I was just going to say, doing that research is so important. I know in my area, we have a lot of farmers, and these people who own these big farms have a lot of money, and their idea of luxury may not be the same as your ideas of luxury, but don't show up to walk land in your high heel shoes and your best dress so make sure that you know who you're going to meet, because they will kick you out the door.
100%.
You don't want to walk 100 acres in your high-heeled shoes. So, in the mud and the muck.
And something that's so important, it goes hand in hand with that, which is the next one, which is stay one step ahead, anticipate their needs and their questions. So if you've never worked with farmers before, how much research are you doing ahead of time? I think that brings that. Go ahead, Terry.
I'm going to say it can be as simple as a phone call to them and say, hey, on my first meeting with you, I would really love for you to, show me the property. How are we going to get around? If they're going to put you in a golf cart or some kind of farm equipment, it may not matter. But, hey, we can go walk a couple acres. Put your boots on.
Yes.
Them how they want to show you the property and what you want to see. What's the most important thing that they want you to see? And that can be with any property. I mean, honestly, some of these McMansions are on 30 acres. How are they getting you around that? What are they going to show you? What's the most important thing for you to see?
And if you bring something and if you can impress them just in that meeting because you did your research, because you anticipated something, that's going to go a long way. So okay, so let's stay on that though. Anticipating their needs and their questions. Remember when I said don't be too much of a stalker? When you have that appointment, this is when you become that stalker. You go look at their social media, you Google them, you look at things, and you find ways that you can anticipate. If you find that, let's see, for example, they're in the Corvette Club, obviously, if you know about cars or Corvettes, bring that up. But you have to find commonality with somebody. And it might not, but listen, and there may be where you have a really hard time having that commonality with someone. This is where that warm introduction comes into hand. And then, a lot of times you're going to be like, hey, I know that's your customer. So for example, going back to Tony, if he gets that call from that attorney and gets on that roster of other agents and they have a lead for him, he's going to be like, okay, tell me a little bit about them. What should I know about them? It's okay to ask someone when they give you a referral, what should I know about this client? What's going to be the best way to service them? I put on here, oh, can you go back to that other slide? Okay, so I put on here, see where it's got like the really cute dessert that says congrats, and then it's got the bottle of Don Julio 1942. This is going back to also know your audience. If they don't drink alcohol, do not show up with champagne or any sort of alcohol, but you have to get to know them first. So that's one of the things. Let's see, people like to work with those who seem to be like them in their interests. That's absolutely correct. This tequila gets a really big hit when it is going to tequila lovers. So unexpected touches throughout the transaction. So that's something that I want to just touch a little bit on is, okay, there's three things. There's following up, following back, and following through. Okay. Say you had that meeting with them and it didn't go as planned. You still need to send a thank you card. You still need to send something after the fact to let them know that you appreciated their time. Because guess what? When you are dealing with people that maybe don't have a whole lot of free time, or they are, time becomes more valuable than money. When you're talking to someone who has a lot of money, to them, their time is more valuable than the money they've got. So make sure that you always thank them for their time, not just when you're leaving, but you're sending something back. So I can't emphasize this enough, but following up, following back, and following through is important. So if you told them you were going to do something after your meeting, follow through, even if you think that it was a total disaster, even if you think there's no chance that y'all are going to work together, it might just surprise you. Okay, you may think that you totally tanked it and they think you are fabulous. What is it? Someone says never use alcohol. You never know if they were alcoholic. Absolutely. I have a client questionnaire. Once the seller and I have agreed to work together in contract, not just verbally, or a buyer and I have decided to work together, again, in contract, I send a client questionnaire. And it literally asks, what is your favorite non-alcoholic drink? What's your favorite alcoholic drink? What's your favorite coffee? What's your favorite restaurant? It's all of their favorite things because I want to be able to unexpectedly gift them things throughout the transaction. So it may just be, hey, congratulations, we got an offer on your property. We're now in escrow. I'm going to send them something. Or you guys worked really hard to get this house ready. You hit everything on the checklist. Y'all go enjoy a movie night. I know that they really enjoy going to the theater. Go have a night at the movies. So definitely know your audience and do not send alcohol if they don't drink. Also, religious reasons, 100%. I've worked with many clients that they're not allowed to have alcohol in their house at all. What company do you use for personalization on the Don Julio? Okay, so here's the thing. There's a difference between a gift and advertisement when you put your logo on it, right? We all know that you're capped at how much you can give a gift, but once your logo is etched in it or permanently put on it, it's not a gift anymore. There's your loophole. I'm trying to think of let me see who asked that, Lisette. I'm trying to think of the company it is that I used for I do for wine too, because again, if they tell me what their favorite is, I then can get that bottle personalized. I do it with Dom also. Um, I can't think of the name of it, but I will make note of you and go back. Or actually, you know what? I'll put it in WorkVivo after following this. I'll go put it in WorkVivo for all of us. Let's see. When do you deliver the client questionnaire? After we have agreed to work together contractually. So once we have signed and they are officially a client, I send them the client questionnaire. You could order custom vinyls of your logo and stick them on gifts. You could. I think it depends on what the gift is. So with this, I don't know if you can see on the bottle. So like there's the box on the left. It's on the box and on the bottle. But if you look at the bottom of the bottle, that's my logo on there. It's etched in gold as well. But yes, you can absolutely do that.
I would say
And
one thing
sure,
to that case is, you need to how you show up matters. So if you're
100%.
slapping stickers on things,
Mhm.
I personally would say that's maybe not luxury. I would spend the extra money to find a company that does the etching because it's like you care about your brand and you're putting it on. People know that the cost of that a sticker is much or a vinyl is much more cost effective than actually going and paying for something like putting it directly on a box and a bottle.
100%. I've got stuff next to me, but I'd have to jump out of camera to get, like, I have Tiffany. I don't know if you saw my post, Cass, but like everyone, it's funny. I posted a picture. It's like, oh, new shipment came in, and it was all my Tiffany boxes because I like to do champagne glasses, and I get the client's name etched in them, and of course, I have my logo on them. And someone said, all of a sudden, I have the urge to sell my home, and so it just you never know but it's details. Details matter, and they do expect you to be more elevated. So with the vinyls, like she just said, great point. You know, if I gave you this bottle with vinyl on it, and if I handed you another bottle with my logo etched in it, which one would you be more impressed with? Right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Thank you, blankets. Oh, I love that. I had a client gift that to me, which will take me to my next slide too. But I had a client gift that to me. They stalked my social media and they took pictures of my corgis and my family and made a blanket for me that was personalized. It was fantastic. And I had a client that was moving to Europe. And so I stalked their Facebook and I took every picture I could find on their Facebook of their 3 years here in America and put a picture book together. So it was like a memory book of all of the photos they took in that home while they were here. And they got teary eyed over it. You guys, the book was probably $85 to
Mm.
have made. The time that I spent putting in it was about 3 hours, but seeing their reaction in something so simple because they were moving back to Europe, so it couldn't be anything big or bulky. It was priceless, the reaction that I got from them and how much it meant to them to have this picture book now of their time in their home here. So on to this next slide where it says they may surprise you as well. I just mentioned the blanket. And I had a client, this is a client event that I had, by the way. I bought out the movie theater, and it's one of those that has like food and drinks. So it was on Veterans Day. And this is one of my favorite events because it was on Veterans Day and it's when Top Gun came out. And so I invited all my clients that were veterans and their families, and we all sat at the open area, the bar area beforehand, and then we went into the movie theater, and it was really cool because I got to have everyone introduce themselves, what branch they were in, how long they served, any wars that they served in. And then it was kind of cool because all my clients were together and it was kind of a brotherhood type thing. It was fantastic. But the greatest gift I've ever received from a client, and I've gotten some pretty nice ones, um, is this, and it was this chip. And if you know military chip, when you get one of those, it's very, very rare. And he gave it to me at a client event, and I will forever cherish that. So going back to thinking about how you make them feel, you never know. But it's been absolutely amazing, and that was probably, again, today I almost get teary-eyed talking about it even now, receiving that chip. And so people want to, going back to what someone said over here, I'm sorry, I'm back on the looking at the chat. People want to be around people that have the same interests. And so when you think about this too, maybe you host a client event, and then that is where you tell them that if they happen to know anyone that you think they should know, to make that introduction, to make that warm introduction for you. Cass, I know we're getting a little close to time. We'll go ahead and just go to the next slide really quickly. Just two great things, like what can you do right now? You can take away HAR because that's for Houston, unless you're Frocy. There is a great luxury designation course you can take, luxurydesignation.com with Michael LaFido. And then there's the Ritz-Carlton Gold Standard class. That's fantastic. If you get an opportunity to take that as well. And then go to the next slide, please. And then here's my information. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. If you want to ask any questions or bounce any ideas, or you want to share something with me personally, please do. I would absolutely love that. And I'm in Houston, Texas, and feel free. I'm going to go find what the name of that company is, and I will post it on WorkVivo. Did you guys have any other questions? Okay, so now I'm going to ask at least, let's see, y'all unmute yourselves. You don't have to get on camera if you're a little bit shy, but I do want to ask that you share one thing that you're taking away from this. I want to hear from at least 4 people. What is one thing you took away from this that's helpful or beneficial to you?
I think one thing that I didn't really consider is, and I'm kind of shocked that I didn't think about it, but it just blew my mind when you were talking about, who are the people that you give business to and like who's that one person? Well, I had a luxury client last year, and he had a financial advisor, and like the bank that he worked with had like a very specific like high valuation lender that they worked with as well. And I'm like, I should just call that guy and see like how he's been, what's been going, because we do run into each other from time to time at events, like locally with other realtors and other lenders. But I mean, I didn't even like think to network with him more about, what other clients he has.
Absolutely. Ask him who else does he know that you should know. 100%. Someone else, anything that you took from this?
Hey,
Tony.
Natasha, Tony here. My video is off for some reason. I like that little thing you said about you create that little questionnaire for the client, like the things they like or whatever, because you're going to do things for them, maybe like during a transaction. And I like that, the idea that you're showing thoughtfulness in advance, because I would explain it to them. There's going to be a lot going on. It could be a little stressful sometimes and a lot to do. And I want to make sure I'm doing some happy things for you along the way and not just, working the deal. I want to take care of you. So would you mind filling this out? I want to get to know you, whatever you're willing to share. I think that's a very proactively kind thing to do. And to my ear, like I try to think of my own things too. But when you said that, I said out loud when I was muted, I go, oh, that's a really good little idea. It's different. I don't think everyone does that. And I think that's a really nice proactive way to show a kindness and gesture that you're really thinking the client's feelings Not that you're a psychologist, but it's nice to be able to do that. So that I like that. That's a nice one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to be gifting them things, so I want it to be things that they want, right? And I know traditionally agents give closing gifts at the end. I don't. I gift throughout the transaction. And, if they're a seller, they're moving. I'm not going to give them something else to have to move. I follow up with them. I have a 30, 60, 90 follow up. And that's when they're settled wherever they're at is when I follow up and go to their new place and gift them or mail it if they moved away out of state or whatever. But Tony, I'll be happy to share my questionnaire with you. If you reach out to me, shoot me a text or an email. I'll be
Sure,
happy
we'll do.
with you. I
Yeah,
also have
thank
one
you.
for sellers
Bye.
specifically because I like to ask the sellers, what do you love about your home? Because I see what I see, right? And what they tell me, but I want to be able to share something that I may not know. Where like one lady was like, oh my gosh, there's these amazing birds that come and they fly here. I would have never known that because I'm not there at 7 in the morning. And guess what? That really sat with someone else. They loved that about the home. So also be intentional about your questions for your sellers. Take it away from just being salesy. What is something you're going to really miss about this home? Or what is your favorite thing about this home? Things like that. Anyone else? Let's get maybe two more. Go ahead, Megan.
Hi, it's Megan Luker in Virginia Beach, 30 some years in real estate and military relocation and luxury. Um, Second home market, beach homes. I'm currently getting ready to list one next month that's a music production studio in the actual home. He produces music there, so it's very unique. And I love everything that you've mentioned today. My takeaways are I'm definitely a gift giver, so I love the specialized bottles. That's something I hadn't thought of. Getting a little more creative with that. And for taxes, like you said, the little extra thing you just threw in that little hook. And I do use we like to love on you Google form. So that we use that right at the very beginning in our transactions. And the events that you mentioned. The movie theater, I've not tried that one. So thank you for sharing that. Love to hear more about your SOP on how you run that. And thank you for sharing today. I'm very excited and glad to know that some of the things you're implementing, I kind of already am doing. I really like that you ask people how to find their next luxury clients or who to work with. And Chamber of Commerce, whoever put that, that's a great idea. So this is very beneficial. Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank
and the
you.
question I have for you
Yeah.
is, how do you promote your upcoming coming soons of luxury properties? What's some of the first things you do? A little tagline or some kind of a teaser you send out to other agents in your area or out of state? What are some things you do?
100%. Social media is the best thing because even if someone can't afford that, they're going to talk about it. And do you know how many times I have gotten someone because a friend tags someone that they know that would consider that? I've gotten referrals without asking because a friend of mine tagged someone on a luxury listing that I put as coming soon. Um, Social media is huge and also using our real luxury network. So let's definitely connect. There was something that you had said you asked about. I'm sorry, I can't think of it at the moment, but send me an email or text me.
Yes, and something I just realized is if you are not a member of the luxury department yet, which I'm on the verge of that, going into that, um, you can actually advertise your luxury listings in Real Brokers Luxury.
A
Um,
hundred percent. Get with me
yeah,
on that. So
so
I'm
I will
actually the
definitely.
lead for membership for our
Oh,
division.
okay, great.
So I
Thank
love that you
you.
said you're almost there. I'm like, all right, let's
Yeah,
talk.
I actually am a guild award with
Oh,
Institute of
wonderful.
Luxury since
Yeah.
2016. So I'll get with you on that. Thank
Perfect. Look
you.
forward to it. And
Okay.
thanks for sharing. I
Yeah.
also got moving boxes personalized, you guys. You can order
Oh,
those.
that's a great idea.
And then on Amazon, you can get stickers that have different rooms. It has the names of different rooms and they're color coded, but I have moving boxes that are personalized as well with my logo on them. And so dropping them off at a listing goes a long way. Okay, anyone else? I want to hear from at least one more person. Any takeaways, Kim? let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw your hand raised. Anyone else have a takeaway or something that you thought, oh, I could do that, or oh, that was pretty good. I think I already do that, or I need to do that, or do more of it. One other person. Nika, you
Yeah, I thought what you said was really cool about it's just as easy as looking at who you give your business to. Is it insurance? Is it your bankers, your CPA? So, I think that's something I'm going to look into. Who do I give my business to? Because I mean, that's pretty easy. If I'm giving them my business, then they are going to be more eager to maybe give me business as well. So that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into because
ladies,
I
think
refer
about
business, yeah, out to different people. So I think if you do that, you should feel more comfortable asking them for business as well.
100%. Who does your hair? Who does your nails? Who does your Botox? Who
Yes.
does your massages? Who do you buy a car from?
Hmm.
You know, I have someone that I go to, the same person at White House Black Market, and she knows my size and knows my style, and she knows what I do every time. So yeah, it's more than just like the big ticket. Think about all the things that you do, right? The restaurant that you eat at the most. So absolutely. I hope that all of you take some time today and write out the list of all the people that you give your business to, the companies that you give your business to, and that you start having those conversations with them. And I look forward to um, sharing. I hope you guys share with me if something comes of it. I love to hear success stories. So please always feel free to reach out and share that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. I've really appreciate this. I've got like a whole page of notes, like whole bunch of thoughts, and that's like very dangerous for me. So, because now I'm like, oh, now what do I got to do? And I'm like, oh, wait, I have a whole to-do list to do today already. So, like, this is gonna have to be a later thing. But I love the value that you brought today. I'm really glad that we could have you on. I will probably have tons more questions, just like a lot of other people on here. With that, you also brought up a thought for me too, is like, we need to have another class on how to ask those other people, whether it is a lender or a banker or even like, so those people know how, kind of how to push business around. But like you said, your Botox gal, like I guarantee you, she doesn't necessarily know how to have those conversations. So I think we need to do a mastermind around how to educate other people like your Botox, your nails, those people, how to educate them to advocate for you to get and then give leads to you. I taught my beautician how to do that, and she sent me 3 leads. Like it was just, we were sitting in there, she's doing my hair, we're catching up on life about every 8 weeks, like we usually do. And she's like, I got a gal that wants to buy a house. How do I get her to you? Like literally, she asked me that. She had no idea how to do it. So I think that like going forward, I think that should be another one of our masterminds here shortly. If y'all are cool with that, is
I agree.
how to
I think that's
educate.
genius. Seriously, that's fantastic.
So I think that'll be next on one of the next ones on our list. Although we do have a pretty good list coming up here. Next month is how to get into commercial. Miss Cynthia Peacock, our commercial queen from New York. She does commercial, strictly commercial. She is a BA commercial realtor. And so I'm super excited to have her on next month and talk about, if you're looking to get into maybe commercial and branch out. I know we don't have a commercial division yet, but who knows? It might be coming. We are a growing company. So it's always nice to learn more. I know I've kind of forayed into commercial a little bit, and I definitely could use some more help with that. Other things, we're gonna have a mindset. If any of you were around last year when we had Robin on Burdette, she did a mindset one. We're gonna do some mindset with her. All y'all saw Felina on here a little bit earlier. She's from South Dakota. I think that's gonna be in May. She's gonna come on and talk about how to get and find developers. So how to find developers and land and that kind of thing. So she's going to come on and talk about that. So we got a lot of really great things. So we really appreciate you guys coming out. If you know anybody, like please invite them to these. It's open to everyone. I know we had made an announcement about being on Real Academy. We're still working through that. We are very close. Oh, there's my dog. Somebody rang the bell.
And of course, I have to say, If any of you know anyone that I should know looking to move to Houston, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Natasha, it was great. Sorry, my dog is being a spaz and I can't stop her right now. But
Take a picture with your spaz dog and post it on social media. You might get a referral that way.
there you go. See all the things we do, just like your corgis. Well, you guys, everyone have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month, and we can't wait to hear more from you. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for your time.
All right. Bye, guys.